In the grand global chess match of the Cold War, the Soviet Union had built a formidable fleet of nuclear-powered titans. Their attack submarines were the wolves of the deep, and their ballistic missile submarines were the guarantors of the apocalypse. But this powerful blue water fleet had a soft, vulnerable underbelly. The silent war was not just being fought in the deep Atlantic, but also in the shallow, crowded, and critically important coastal waters of Europe and Asia. And in this green water battleground, the Soviet Navy was sailing a fleet of ghosts from another era. The problem was the diesel-electric submarine. This was the workhorse of coastal defense, the silent predator of the littorals. But the Soviet Union's vast fleet of these conventional submarines, the Whiskey, Foxtrot, and Tango classes, were a product of 1950s technology. They were noisy, their battery life was poor, and their sensors were a generation behind. They were becoming less of an asset and more of a liability, easy targets for the advanced anti-submarine warfare, ASW aircraft and modern frigates that NATO was deploying in huge numbers. This was not a minor issue. It was a gaping hole in the Soviet defensive line. In the event of a conflict, these noisy, outdated diesel boats would have been systematically hunted and destroyed in the opening days, if not hours, of a war. This would leave the Soviet Union's vital maritime flanks, the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, the Sea of Japan, dangerously exposed. It would allow NATO forces to establish sea control right on the Soviet Union's doorstep, threatening naval bases, bottling up the fleet, and projecting power with impunity. The Soviet Navy was facing a crisis of conventional undersea warfare. Their nuclear titans were too large, too valuable, and too few in number to be risked in these constrained, dangerous waters. They desperately needed a new kind of diesel-electric submarine. A submarine that wasn't just an incremental improvement, but a technological leap. They needed a boat so quiet it could disappear into the background noise of the ocean. They needed a hunter that was acoustically invisible, a silent menace that could restore the balance of fear in the shallows. They needed a black hole. The Soviet response was one of the most successful and influential submarine designs in history. It was Project 877 Paltus, known to the West by its NATO reporting name, the Kilo class.
It just disappeared.
This was not just a new submarine. It was a new philosophy, a vessel designed from its very keel for one overriding purpose: absolute, uncompromising silence. The Kilo was a masterpiece of acoustic stealth. First, the shape. It was one of the first Soviet submarines to feature a perfect, teardrop-shaped hull, the most hydrodynamically efficient and quietest shape for moving through the water. Second, the skin. The entire outer hull was clad in thick, rubbery anechoic tiles. These tiles were designed to do two things: absorb the sound waves of an enemy's active sonar,
Algeria,
preventing
Iran,
a telltale echo,
Poland, Vietnam.
and dampen the noise
Kilo is
radiating from
everywhere.
the submarine's own machinery,
AK-47 of the
trapping its
submarine
voice
world.
inside. Third, the silent heart. The Kilo's entire propulsion plant, the powerful diesel generators and electric motors, were mounted on a massive rubber-isolated raft. This disconnected the noisy heart of the submarine from the hull, preventing its vibrations from escaping into the
improved
water.
Kilo is armed
For
with the
ultra-quiet
deadly,
patrol, it could run on its massive
long-range
batteries,
cruise missile.
powered by a whisper-quiet, low-speed, creeping motor. The combination of these features was revolutionary. The Kilo class was so effective at disappearing that it quickly earned its legendary nickname from Western naval analysts: the Black Hole. Once it submerged and went quiet, it simply vanished from their screens. The proof of the Kilo's success is written in the order books. It became, by a huge margin, the most successful and widely exported submarine class of its generation. Over 70 of these silent predators have been built. They became the backbone of the Soviet, and later, the Russian conventional submarine force, replacing the noisy relics of the past. But their true impact is measured in their global proliferation. The Indian Navy became one of its largest and most important operators, using them to gain a critical undersea advantage in the Indian Ocean. A newly modernizing China acquired them, using the Kilo as the foundation to rebuild its own submarine fleet and to reverse engineer its advanced technology. They were sold to Algeria, to Iran, to Poland, to Romania, to Vietnam. The Kilo was everywhere, a testament to its lethal, stealthy, and cost-effective design. It was the AK-47 of the submarine world. Reliable, effective, and in the hands of almost anyone who wanted a credible undersea capability. But the ultimate proof of the design's brilliance is its own evolution. Decades after the first Kilo was launched, the Russian Navy initiated a massive upgrade program. The result was Project 636.3, the Varshavyanka, or improved Kilo. These boats took the legendary stealth of the original and made it even better, with a more powerful and quieter engine, advanced sensors, and one other game-changing addition: the ability to launch the deadly, long-range Kalibr cruise missile. This was the final terrifying evolution. In November 2015, the world watched as the Russian improved Kilo-class submarine Rostov-on-Don, submerged silently in the Mediterranean Sea, launched a volley of Kalibr cruise missiles, striking ISIS targets in Syria with pinpoint accuracy. It was the first time this weapon had been fired in anger from a Russian submarine. It proved that a quiet, conventional submarine could now have a profound, strategic long-range impact, a feat previously reserved for nuclear-powered titans. The legacy of the Kilo class is one of profound, game-changing success. It was the ship that democratized undersea stealth. It gave dozens of nations a credible, asymmetric weapon that could threaten a much larger and more technologically advanced navy. A single Kilo-class submarine lurking in a coastal choke point is a nightmare for any surface fleet,
are now stable.
a black hole that can swallow a billion-dollar warship without warning. The evolution into the Kalibr-capable improved Kilo represents the perfection of this doctrine. It proves that you no longer need a massive nuclear-powered submarine to be a strategic player. A small, ultra-quiet diesel boat can now hold targets over 1,500 kilometers inland at risk, all while remaining completely invisible. They are the silent sentinels, the ultimate ambush predators of the modern era. The Kilo class is more than a submarine. It is a legend of the deep, a testament to a design philosophy that valued silence above all else. In the crowded, dangerous coastal waters of the 21st century, these ships remain one of the most lethal and respected threats on the planet. They are the black holes, the silent menace that changed the rules of the undersea game forever.